ask you. I know what I gave you. Please tell me what you gave me. Now let me ask you.
Okay, people, it's your ambassador again on Chakara TV. So now you can see the faces of the vibrant young men and the beautiful young ladies. They are here to give their opinion in regards to some of these conversations we have started on. Today we are going to be talking about the relationship between the job market and our educational system. For some people, it's a positive one. For some people, it's a negative one. But we want to focus on the solutions, I'll put it that way. So before I said today, I wanted to focus on statistics. So I want to just read some statistics in regards to unemployment, because earlier on I read statistics in regards to the educational system. But if we see some of the bad numbers we have in regards to unemployment, that's already telling us like there is some disconnect. If we are not having good employment numbers, it means that the educational system is not necessarily meeting the needs of the job market. But when we're conversing with, today was different. The dynamics was not mixing perfectly. The guys were all on the fence and the girls were all against, saying that the education system does not meet. So let me just go by the statistics and then we start with it. So according to the World Bank, the unemployment rate in Cameroon is 4.6% in 2019. However, this number is likely to be affected by the COVID pandemic, social unrest, and country informal economy. The Cameroon youth unemployment rate is also high, estimated at 13%. This can create social and economic challenges for the country as young people struggle to find employment, contribute to the economy, which can lead to frustration, disillusionment, and potentially unrest. According to the World Bank, Cameroon overall unemployment rate was at 4.5% in 2020, up from 3.9% in 2019. However, the International Labour Organization estimates that the country's unemployment rate could be as high as 8.3%. Okay, so generally, Cameroon's informal economy is also a significant factor in its employment landscape. The ILO estimates that more than 80% of the country's workforce is employed in the informal sector, which can make it difficult to track the measure employment and unemployment. So, I just read this last paragraph to say some of these numbers already look bad, but they might look even worse if we could track the informal sector. Because if 80% of the workforce is in the informal sector, it means all of these percentages are given that look bad. It's not counting the informal sector, because we cannot keep track of the informal sector.
Yes.
And we all know that all of the most difficult things are in the informal sector, like the call box people, all of these people.
Yes.
That's what we really see. And then there's also what we call underemployment, which is not really taken into consideration here, but also should I call it an indicator towards the lack of connection between the educational system and the job market. Because if people are underemployed, it means that what they learned in school or what they studied does not necessarily meet. So, yeah, we had the two guys who were on the fence saying that they don't really agree, or they are divided between if the educational system meets or not, and the girls were saying that it does not. So, as I said, I wanted us to focus on, we might go back and forth with regards to the problem, but let's focus more on the solution this time around. So I don't know if I should start with the fence or with the not. I think we usually start with the girls, the guys most of the time. Let's start with the girls. So girls, just give us, you guys said the educational system does not meet the job market needs. So what solutions do you think would help this?
I just think like I said when it was just us, I think that they should bring more practical work. That's what I think. If there's more of practicality, like gaining skill and everything, there's going to be a higher employment rate. Because when you have skill already, like I build websites, so when I already have that mentality that okay, I can do this for myself, it will help me to want to find a job on my own, or not wait that no, let the government employ me as a software engineer somewhere. So like when you just have your own skill, it gives you that mentality to want to create a job for yourself, and in that way I think you balance up.
Yeah. And I think in the spirit of employment, she just said she builds websites. I think she builds websites too, and they are both lawyers. So if you have jobs, even in the comment section, you can start getting people to do jobs.
And
they
not
can do
expensive.
freelance, remote.
You're an MC too.
You're an MC.
I'm a CEO too.
So, yeah,
Okay, added to what she said, like
solutions. Yeah.
yes, I think that right back from our primary sector, we can actually encourage our kids to be more creative rather than book smart. Like if you notice in our educational sector, it's all about who comes first, who can read more, who can perform more. But if they are really trying to bring out the creativity in children, so that they could start, I don't know, like what she said, with their skills, building their skills, so that they could make jobs opportunities for themselves rather than looking only at the government.
Like during common entrance, instead of having children make brooms or having them cook, they could, I don't know, build little things, small machines or
Maybe it
stuff
was preparing them for the kitchen.
to make brooms.
It's so
You have to
basic.
sweep
It's so
domestic
basic.
work.
And-
Even there's cooking.
And for me, basically, when you talk about a developing country, the term itself developing, it's like a verb for something that is in transition,
Yeah.
is doing something. You understand?
Yeah.
So I want to talk about Africa as a whole. That is a developing continent. A developing country, a continent, it needs a workforce. It needs people that do. So I think also when we talk about those things, gradually we are losing touch with a lot of things that really make us, how can I say, go further. For example, agriculture, carpentry, those things. Those are things that are very essential in the developing country
Yeah.
because they are building. There are things that are building, and it does not really matter the profession that you are in. These are things that you can, like agriculture, you could verge in it, whether you are a lawyer, you're a teacher, you own a podcast, you are, a tech person, you could, get into it and all of that. So, and I think that is, because that is something that I really have a passion for, so I want to,
For family.
pig farming, animal rearing, all of those things.
Yeah.
I think those are the things that really, make a difference.
It's just that some people have that sick mentality about only white collar jobs.
That's
Like,
that's where I
and
want.
it's sad.
That's where I want to come in with my own solution. One of the problems we're facing is the fact that a lot of people feel like they call the job market. They're so focused on wearing a tie, waking up by 8, going to work by 9, close by 5, and then you're back home. But that's not the entirety of life. Like what he was saying, we are Africans and we have a way. You know, these most of these let me say Europeans who are involved in farming, they studied it, they took our time to study, to know. But guess what? These are some things that were embedded in us Africans. That mother in the village needs nobody telling her how these crops to do. She already knows that in this soil, it's like they grew up with it in their blood. So
Yeah, it's like
if we
that-
could focus on developing what we already have first. Now people feel like the fact that okay, we don't produce machines, so we are down. The fact that we don't do this one that the Western world is doing, we are down. Why don't we focus more on creating from what we are already good at? You understand?
Exactly.
For example, this woman knows that potatoes does better in Bamenda than it does in Boya. You get, but he has a more fertile soil for the production of some certain crops than he has than Douala. You get, and this mother already knows that this is the time to plant this. This is the time to plant this. She already understands times and seasons. You get, these are some things that does not need no basic skill or training.
Yes,
It's
yes.
already, it's just
Embedded. It's
embedded in
we
us. We
grow,
already
we
part.
saw
You
it,
get,
we-
like working farming is something that we already know. Like a mother will tell you that pigs don't eat this, they don't eat this. A man already knows they don't need to go to some particular school to study this thing. So why don't we perfect ourselves in these things? Like one of the solutions I'm saying is like we still in relation to what Nina said. If you cannot find the job market, that's why I told you I was on the fence because I love our system. They literally took our time to teach us a lot of things. They taught us how to draw a pig and how to name some parts of the pig. A lot of people go out and say what was it for? But guess what? We have people now who are into pig farming and they know that okay, pigs don't do these things. You get. Now you see that general knowledge we all had.
That grasshopper we learn how to draw also to raise grasshopper.
People eat grasshoppers.
Munguin is a grasshopper.
And they don't eat all.
Munguin is a grasshopper.
Yeah, and they eat
Mungu
it.
is a grasshopper.
And it's being
And
eaten.
they eat
But this
People are
thing
moving.
in relation to in relation to all these things we're saying, we should learn to create from what we don't see. Okay. Like if I'm looking for this thing and I cannot find it, that general knowledge we had, it placed in us a bit of knowledge of everything so that we could get what we wanted.
Anyway, there's this angle I want to attack it from. This is something I'm very passionate about. I have been trying to do talks in schools and things like that based on it. So I have my ideas kind of sorted out a lot when it comes to it. I'll address it from three angles. There's the government, their parents, and then there's the individual, the youth, right? I'll start from the top and the end with the youth because I think most of us here are youths, or most of you are youths. And so maybe you have pushbacks regards to what I'll say to the youth. Starting with the government. I think that the government, as you have emphasized mostly from that angle of the government has to make it a little more practical. By making it practical is for people to, we cannot scrap out the educational system at one go. It might take a while, but they should start coming up with short courses to make it a little bit more practical. Yeah. Also, they can accompany youth. Basic things like internet and good light can help youths to run their own show completely. I mean, like, there are things now like remote working where we are focusing on just the job market in Cameroon. But with the internet, I'm not looking at the job market in Cameroon.
Exactly.
I'm looking at the global job market. So if the government can just create this enabling environment, the youths can run their own show. We'll not come back to them asking them, give us jobs. We know where to find jobs. Just give us the means to access those jobs. That being said, I don't like to dwell too much in the government, but I think in every bus station, every park, every debate on Canal Day or Equinox, they're attacking the government, and that's what we're good at doing. The government.
Yes.
Let's
That's
come to
why I'm
ourselves.
focusing on us. Yeah.
First, the parents. I think parents have to learn to accompany their children. I remember when I just got out to Europe and then I saw this we're living beside a school, a secondary school, and I saw a man come and drop his kids off in school, pick them up, take them to like sports. In the evening about 7, he took them some dancing lesson, and I was like, is that this man has nothing to do with his life, or is he serious that he does it all the time? But realize that it's just a way of life where, as dedicated as he is to that child in school, he has bought the child good boots, because our parents in Africa just support us just in education.
Yeah.
All the other things, hustle by yourself. But at the end of the day, you find children even making it in life in those other things where you do not support them. But in the school that supported them is not really earning enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
When they go to that school and they don't have jobs, the parents will look at you like, I've done my part, I've sent you to school. But now the school has not given me a
Literally
job.
their words.
Who do you want to blame if you send me in a direction which was not going to give me a job? So I think parents need to get involved in supporting children in diversifying their options. Don't support them just in the school which you believe in. Support them in all the other things that can give them options.
Yeah.
That being said, as I said, I want to focus on the youth because I always tell people, the government does what the government does. Your parents have lived their life. They'll try their best. They love you as they love you. But it boils down to you. Nobody's in charge of your life. First, I break it down into 3 parts. There was something we said with the guys when they were talking about years of experience. I think even the girls mentioned it. I tell people every day, from the time you get into the university, start doing internships and things.
Yeah.
So that by the time I leave in the university, maybe if it's a master's, you're leaving with already 5 years of experience. If it's a degree, you're leaving with 3 years of experience. But many young people go through the university in their final year, when they ask them to go and do compulsory internship, maybe for 6 months, I don't know how long, they go and sit in some office and then they're helping people to go and buy tea and buy granite.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they have a template of their report which they write and go and submit to tick the box. Then they end up now with just 6 months, which they cannot even defend the 6 months because they're not doing practical things.
Exactly.
And then when they go into the job market, they ask you for 7 years. You're not like, but why are they saying that 7 years? Where they expect me to get the 7 years from? I'm just leaving school and all of that. The first job I had was asking for 7 years, but my CV had almost 5 years. Because even before going to the university, I started working with my parents in this whole NGO and agriculture things. Both my parents are agri-engineers. So I did business studies, but I tilted towards that field because I already had experience in those things. I remember the joke I gave the guys in the interview hall, because I like to always break down the tension in those halls. I was like, they said, okay, looking at your CV, we're asking for 7 years, you have just 5. And you just left school, how do you have 5? And I told them, like, if you are following even my CV, you'll say that I have 5. But if I'm trying to be honest with you, I have 20. And they started laughing. And I was telling them, like, let me explain I have 20. Because my mother was working with projects. I was applying to be an M&E expert for projects. So my mother worked with projects. And when I was like in secondary school, when she goes and does her project work, she used to tell us that, okay, she'll give you 100 francs, help her to fill the data sheet. So I was already building my experience in the data sheeting, data collection, database system, and all of those things when it comes to monitoring the project. So you cannot count my experience only from when I left school, because actually I started working on those things even before I went to. So I can even put more, but I just put 5 just because I'm really laughing about it. But it's something which makes sense and it's something which I actually did. So many young people know that, okay, that's what's expected of us. You start building your CV. Next thing I tell young people, create networks while you're in school. When you meet those guys in the Harvard and the rest, or the guys who were with Zuckerberg in the dorm, some of them got 2%, 5% of Facebook just because we're in that dorm with Zuckerberg when he started building Facebook. But the sad thing is our people here don't build those networks. You leave school, you just know the friend that you're clubbing with, you dated 3 girls, you have now quarreled with them, they don't answer your call. So you don't really have a database of a network you can build upon. But on the contrary, when you're in school, that's what you should be doing. Building your experience, building your network. Whose father is Dangote? Okay, if I want to open a cement company, I'll call that my friend. Whose father has this bank? Whose father is manager in that place? When you are setting up a company, you know that, okay, we need capital. The guy whose father is a manager can help us for capital. We want to build our office, we need cement. This guy can give us a better discount. That's how strategic you should be thinking. Don't limit yourself to what your school has taught you and what experience the school is willing to give you. Take your life into your hand. I always say those things.
Exactly.
People make it sound like it's being harsh, but I say life is harsh. If we don't attack harsh life with a harsh mentality, life is going to defeat us. But if you know that, okay, the conditions in Cameroon are not favorable for me to survive, how do I go harder on the system? Break the norms. Like some of those things where your teacher says, okay, this is the assignment. Maybe like when we're doing MBA, they'll tell you, okay, conflict resolution in a company, this is what you should do. I'm not just thinking about how to fill that paper of the theory which has given for conflict resolution. I'm also thinking, okay, when I'm going to create because I wanted to set up my large farms and my entertainment company, how will I manage the conflict between the artists and the this? The example I'm giving the teacher is with regards to an entertainment company, because I now want to create an entertainment company down the line. So that when they're correcting it, I'm brainstorming on it, I'm improving upon my business model for my entertainment company. I'm not thinking about just passing this exam and giving him the theory back. I'm thinking about my thing. You see what I'm saying? So youth should be thinking in that direction. I always tell people, like, I always see it sounds like you should be ashamed of it, but I'm not. I had a bunch of E's and D's with my advanced level. But the money I make now can pay people who had 5 A's way. Because I was thinking already, like, I'm thinking to survive. It's a capitalist world. Salary, money, capital, start your business. I'm not thinking in terms of pass this exam. It's not that teacher that will give me a job. He might be very happy with me. My parents might be very proud of me, but they don't have a job for me. Yeah. So I have to think of what do I have to do to make those things work. Secondly, something has to go back to the parents. I remember when I was out there, in my MBA class, everybody had a job to go back to. Best for me was coming from Africa, because I was the only African in my class. Everybody, these same examples I was giving about my entertainment ideas, I had somebody who, when they asked us, like, why are you doing an MBA? We own a bank, my family owns a bank, I'm planning to do this. I'm already working in the bank, so I intend to. This one, okay, I have a school, this is what I'm doing. Everybody had something to go back to. Even from the first year, I had classmates who were driving Benzes and things because they were already working in their father's company. So they knew I'm doing law to go and be a lawyer in my father's company. I'm doing management to go and be. But our parents don't usually build that foundation for us, so we have to. But I think this generation should learn that, okay, because if they're not building for us, we should build for the next generation.
African parents also have to understand that it is not you spoiling the child.
Yes, no,
saying that when you are growing up, you become your own man. Yeah. People build generational wealth from taking your children and molding them up in a certain light, making them to see reason. Because the issue is there's a high probability our parents understand things better than us, and as you grow older, you understand that your parents wanted the utmost best for you, even though at that time, even the decision at that time did not favor your own, but they were looking at it from a positive side.
They thought it was
thought it was the best, because when they do it, so that is it. They should know that exactly. They start pulling you, and also about that 80% of people in the informal sector.
Yeah,
that's also something that we should talk about, because the informal sector itself is it involves even the black market and
that's
everything.
where most people are involved.
Yes,
most people are involved.
The problem with the informal sector even is the issue that there is no, as the name goes, it's informal.
Yeah.
They don't follow the formalities of law or anything. minimum wage rate is different. Everything. There are people that our minimum wage rate is this level, and there are people that earn like this.
Yes.
You get, they have revised the minimum wage rate now. It's like 42,000 or something. But there are people, we know that there are people that earn 20,000, 15,000.
Definitely.
You get what I'm saying? So the informal sector also, those are the things that we also have to keep in consideration when
But
analyzing
to add
all
to
of
your
that.
informal sector country, I think we can formalize the informal sector
Yeah.
in the sense that if I'm doing a call box, say I can structure my call box like there's this guy Vosity Bakwai, I like to follow him I follow him religiously. Like everything he says, I'm watching it over and over again. He talks about entrepreneurship a lot, right? He says you can want to start MTN and you start by creating a call box. So they understand how the whole credit and networking system is being built. One of the things I want to ask Africans to do is to work a lot on engineers and health. So I think you are what, computer engineer?
Electrical and software.
Okay.
Same.
Okay. And that's the irony on this platform, which I wanted to just highlight. It's true he said the female rate of education was less, but the guys are doing law, the girls are engineers, which is a flip to the stereotype of the society of boys do drum thing, then the girls do.
Law is so.
My father did 7 courses plus project.
Bro,
Doing
we
10
did.
courses.
We did.
I
Which
am
courses
doing
are
10
there?
courses
Calm
my
down.
best year.
It is a 4-year program condensed
Even
into
now.
3 years. Ha.
Guys,
I
Law
do
is
10
a 10
courses
years
every year.
program. It's a
Charlie.
I do 10 years.
4 years program
I
condensed
said-
into 3
I
years.
said
What I say?
the
You know how many
stereotype.
do you have?
Oh,
I said
people
the
deal with algorithms. We don't even have answers to our questions.
Okay.
They're not
Who say you
answers.
have answers to
Charlie,
our
guys,
You have
questions?
answers.
Have you done engineering
You have
before?
answers.
Charlie,
We don't have
the
answers
point
to
I
our
was trying to
questions.
make was that there's that stereotype, and then this platform has broken it because the girls are doing. I don't know how to describe
But
it.
do not
Electrical
mistake.
and
They do
electrical.
not
Yeah.
mistake.
Engineers in different types.
And they don't do it in
type?
different
Which type?
hardware.
Which type?
It is they're doing software
Engineering.
engineering.
I'm doing software and hardware.
Get a name.
I'm
Get a
doing
name.
electrical
Software.
You do not do electrical.
I'm doing electrical and
Even if
electronics
it is-
engineering in school.
Electronics.
I do
But
software
you're focused on
engineering.
software.
Wait,
Do
It's not my
talk about law.
degree.
Do not
Software
talk about
is not
law.
my
We did not
degree.
put law inside.
We're talking about what you study.
So guys, wait.
Electrical and electronics
Let's
engineering.
focus. So I was just saying that because of that, the stereotype has flipped, and then secondly, I want more engineers because I think we can have agric engineers, electrical engineers, computer engineers.
Law engineers.
They'll
They
still
are
need a
not
lawyer.
engineers.
They'll still need a lawyer.
You know,
Law
that's
engineers.
what-
No, it's a problem.
Guys,
People need us.
need us.
We are what
We are the center of the universe.
We are the
Of
center
Very true.
of everything.
So now,
You
what
wish
I
you
wanted
rest.
to drive at was we need practical skills because even when our people do engineering, I have lots of friends who went to Polytechnic, did engineering, but they are doing what I call maintenance engineering. Nobody's doing creative engineering.
Yeah.
They
And
go and get
they're
a
talking
job.
to you, big. Listen,
They go and get a job with MTN and they're just there to repair cables. Nobody thinks
Optical fiber-
creative.
optical fiber is
Can
bad.
we make a laptop? It's different to maintain a laptop and
Can we
making a
improve
laptop
the
is
internet of
something
this
else.
creative.
And then let's be
Yes,
thinking of the
I-
perspective of what
Keep
are
your
the
grudge.
problems in our society and how can we solve it.
Yeah.
It should not be what has a company thought of as a problem and how can I earn money from them by trying to solve their problem. What are the problems in our society? Because that's where you become a billionaire.
Okay.
If you solve a legit problem, there will automatically be a legit demand, and then nobody can ration how much you make because as much as there's that problem, as much as the solution you can offer, that's how much profit you can make. So I told you guys that I'm very passionate about this topic. I can go for days with my ideas on it, but I just feel we should touch some of these things and then. But now I just wanted you guys to just give me feedback, take turns, right? Regards to the things I have raised that youth should do. Do you think you are doing that, or you think you want to do that, or what are your thoughts with regards to things I feel like youth should do to better prepare them for the job market and disconnect them from the whole the government is not doing, the government is not doing. Let's start with that and let's be brief because we're around.
Okay, I think with me, I have been trying to do it. Well, not trying, I've been doing.
Yeah.
But I think one of my problem is maybe doing it wrongly. Like you're doing the right thing, but you don't know the right way to go about it. Yeah. Because I always feel like when I'm doing that project carry out, I'm like, but I think there's more.
There's more to it.
Yes, there's more to it than what holds the eye. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how do I? That's why sometimes people need mentors, and you see, we all need each other. Like if I had parents who, let me say, groomed me from. Now I'm trying to figure out a lot of things on my own. Trying to go down to past documents and look at maybe how does this thing works. So I feel like maybe for a solution for me, I feel like get a mentor for youth who are going through same problem I'm facing, which is what I'm trying to do. Maybe get a mentor to direct you. The thing is that, talking about mentors, I have met a few people, but the thing is that many people want to exploit. You bring an idea, you tell this person, and the first thing they do is back it down, tell you it's not, forget about it, it does not work here, it does not work here.
I've had my
And then
ideas stolen like
yes,
4 times.
and then soon, bro, you see them with their ideas. So it gives you this lack of trust to start confiding to. You don't want to confide in someone again, and then you start looking for a way to do your own. So I feel like maybe I would just need to carry out more research. Maybe if I see somebody I trust enough, open up to them. Yes. So I think
You
that's
can
it.
open up to me.
And also on the point of creating connections while I'm in school. Yeah, I'm trying to really work on that because a lot is being said about making it big here, especially in Cameroon. You know, it depends. 80% is
Who you know?
who you know, then maybe the 20% about your skills. So yes, I'm really trying to engage more on that. But not only like limiting myself to my classmates or my course
Buying
mates.
people rice.
Yeah, because there are usually these tech conferences, like
Yeah.
Silicon Mountain
Yeah.
conference, yes. Actually.
Ligament.
Now the issue now is I choose that profession first of all of his liberal view and everything. I can multitask easily because I don't see myself being stationary on one thing and all of that. So I generally, even though I practice, there are other things that I do. I also become like, how can I say, like I said, I want to involve myself in agriculture. That is something I'm really passionate about, and I'm taking steps for that. I'm a spoken word artist. I write. There are many things that I do, and I feel like I'm not doing much, but I want to do more.
Yeah.
So I feel like they say when I give myself that room to grow, I become, more than what I even envision myself to be. So in that light, I think maybe I might just be on the right direction. And also with regards to the connections and everything, I think it is very important. Clients, you treat clients well, you meet people, you talk with them. A client that might not even be there or not, he can actually call your name to somebody because of the way you did something, and the person changes your life. So everything, you meet people, you greet them, you ask them if you have a problem, you meet a senior, and the issue is you don't have to feel embarrassed. There are many times that you have to, they'll tell you no, or that sometimes that some people treat you in a certain type of way, but you don't do it like, because there are many good people. There are also many good people. You meet the good ones, they are going to direct you. I've met people that have directed me, they have given me counsel, they have told me this is follow this path, and it has been working. So I think that's just it.
Okay.
Ambassador,
So-
please, I have a question.
Yes.
Very short. So, what do you prefer? Do a lot and then see which one works at the end,
Yeah.
or look for something specific and focus on?
No, so I think in
Do
the
a lot.
earlier stages of your life, do a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's
the
what
older you get, start to specialize.
When you
So
see
the
what you
sooner you
want.
specialize, the better. The whole concept of Chakara TV is to have out of the norm. Those who know what the word Chakara means is to disrupt, to scatter. We are not doing things like everybody. So we'll not
Yes, you
converse
said
in the
perfectly.
line which people want to converse. Everybody's just speaking out their own ideas the way they want to, and then hopefully we could build upon that. And last but not least, I just want to emphasize again on this subject. Go out there and then create networks. Austin mentioned the issue of people betraying or taking your ideas. Vosite Makwayo calls some of those kind of things school fees. So you have to pay school fees, learn some lessons in cash or in kind before you can become the man.
Yeah.
I can tell you a lot of investors or inventors who invented their things lost their idea, then later on had the capital. So I have an idea, you give me 10 million, you take my idea, you become rich with it. Now I take that 10 million and then take another idea, and then once you're a creative mind, you're a creative mind. I don't think someone can steal all of your ideas. And now with more capital, you can even build a better idea. So if you don't have capital, you don't get stuck with your idea or your laptop and say, this is my idea, I better die with it, I'm not giving it. That's selfish, and then even God will flog you back. Like, I gave you this idea, it kept you in your laptop and then died with it. So put the ideas out there no matter what. The important thing is for the idea to be able to help the community, and then hopefully help yourself to be able to earn a living. So guys, as usual, like, subscribe,
Thank you very
share,
much. That's a
pick
good
up
one.
these
Yeah,
comments
that's a good
in
one. It's a good
pick
one.
up these conversations in the comment sector. or comment section. Too much economics, I'm talking of sector now. Pick it up in the comment section, and then, as usual, we'll be there to pick it up from there. So, Ambassador again, it was fun having this discussion with you. We have.